Hare Krishna. So we are ready for the second one. Yeah, sorry for little interruption in between, as there was some Google verification was going on, and we could not able to process it. But now it's okay, it's fine. And yeah, so yesterday we discussed the first topic of Mantra of Life, that was mystery of God. And I hope if you have any doubts, any questions, so today, because we have now more personalized way, that is Zoom platform. So here you can ask the question also. That will be much better for you. Any doubts, anything, any clarification, or any example you would like to cite. So today we are going to see the second topic, that is the access the truth. If suppose the God is a truth, if suppose there is something called God, then how can we perceive God? How can we access the God? So that will be quite interesting to know that how can we infer about him. Before that, we would like to discuss that anything if we want to know, so there are certain ways to reach there. Like suppose we are studying in the school, so there is a process how we are studying in the school. So there is a process of learning. So there are different process of learning. So today we are going to first discuss about different process of learning, and in that which process is fitting us to reach and to make us eligible to reach to the God. So that is our main agenda, and that we are going to find out. Because what we do, suppose you are trying to find something, but you don't know the process, then what do you think? Will you able to get it? There was one person who was in a street and under a street light. He was searching for something. So another man joined, and then he asked, "What you are looking for, my friend?" The person who was searching very anxiously, he replied, "Actually, I lost my one golden coin here. So that's why I'm searching it." Golden coin, right? He said, "Yeah, golden coin." So then he also started searching. Maybe I can help that person in somehow, in some way. So then these both guys started searching for the golden coin. And then after half an hour, the other person asked who came to help. So he asked, "Where did you lost your coin? I'm not able to find it because half an hour I'm searching here and there. I'm not getting. Golden coin is certainly a very bright thing, so it will be visible, but it's not visible. That means where did you lost?" The person said, "I lost it on the other side of the street. I lost it on the other side of the street." The person said, "Then why you are searching here? You wasted half an hour for me. You should have told me. I would have gone there and I would have searched for that coin there." The person replied, "Actually, that side there is no light, so there is dark side. So how could I find? That's why I was searching in the light area where the street light is there." The person who came to help, he felt like, how foolish person is this? If he has lost the coin on the other side of the street, although it is dark or light, whatever it may be, but the coin would be there only. But if you are searching in the light, how will you get? The same thing applies to us. Suppose we are searching for something, and if you don't know the process, we don't know where we have to find and how to find that. But the golden coin was there. The process was first to know where it has been lost, and there you can go. But then here there was no information where the coin was, and they are searching. So this is a very low class process. So today we are going to, that's why actually find out what is the actual way of learning, actual way of inferring the God. Once upon a time, there were six blind men. They were trying to figure out how the elephant looks like. Well, before that, I'm just sharing the screen so that you'll get the more idea. This Mantra of Life, session 2. This is the truth. Yeah, yeah. So this is the story. There were six blind men. Okay, I'll not show you this so that you can understand. There were six blind men. They were figuring out how the elephant looks like. Now, these blind men, they have never seen elephant. Actually, they were blind from by birth, so they were not able to understand how the elephant looks like. So what did they do? They went near an elephant, and then they tried to touch different parts. So as they were touching different parts, so they were inferring different data, different information. Like you can see, the six people. Somebody is touching the teeth of the elephant and thinking that the elephant is like arrow. Somebody is touching the elephant's ears and thinking it's like a axe. So it's kind of something to cut. And then somebody is touching the trunk, thinking it as snake. Somebody on the stomach of the elephant and thinking as wall. Somebody on the legs thinking as trees, and somebody to the tail of the elephant and thinking it as rope. So all these different six people had different perception because whatever they touched, their perception became up to that. They all six gathered and then started fighting. Somebody said, "Well, elephant looks like a rope." A second said, "No, like a tree. No, like a wall, like a arrow, like different things." Then they started fighting, and nobody who could able to understand how this person is getting different information than me. I am getting that this elephant looks like a snake, but then how he's saying that he's looking like a wall? So they were doubting on each other that you don't know, you don't know, you don't know. Actually, nobody knew. Actually, all these six had a particular perception. So there was no full picture of the truth which they were able to access. And that's why the problem was arise. And this is the situation for all of us. We are also trying to reach God, and then we are taking different aspects. And that's why sometimes people say that there is no God at all. And sometimes people say that God looks like this. God is a sometimes some people say that God is a very old man sitting on the throne, and then he's just giving the blessings. Some people say that God has no form. God is like just some sound is there. God is just a light is there. And some people say God doesn't exist at all. And some people say God has some form. He has two-handed form. Some say four-handed form. Who God is, how he looks like, if he is there. From where to get all this information? We are like the blind person trying to figure out how the elephant looks like. Now the twist comes in the story, but then that twist we'll discuss at the end of the session so that little suspense has to be created. So we'll start with the three ways of gaining knowledge. They are pratyaksha, anuman, and shabda. In English, if we say, so first is direct perception, second is by some kind of guessing or kind of hypothesis, putting some analysis in that way. And third one is shabda, that is hearing from some source, some bona fide source. So these three ways of gaining knowledge are there, and we just try to figure out which one is best and which one is suitable to reach and to inquire about God. So we are going to discuss about first one, Pratyaksh Prama, direct perception. People say seeing is believing. What do you think? So meanwhile, when I'll ask the question, you can keep commenting on the chat box also. The chat box is open for all of you. So you can keep it here. What do you think? Is seeing believing? Whatever we see, that exactly that thing happens? Everything what you see is true? Or everything what you don't see is false? Now these things are there. We are going to discuss now one by one. Okay, now you are seeing the two pictures here. One picture is of a glass having little water, and then there is a straw. The straw looks like it's bent, but what actually it is happening? There is a law of refraction which is telling, and because it is acting in that way, that's why it is looking like it is bent, but actually it's not. The second one is about a mirror. It's about a concave or convex mirror, which is showing a deformed shape of a person looking in the mirror. So what I am trying to prove now is that pratyaksh praman or direct perception. Yeah. So actually, this is English batch. That's why I'm speaking in English. The evening 7:30 batch would be in Hindi, so that's why just I'm speaking English. If you could cope up with English, then would be better. Uh, like these are two batches we have divided. So this is English batch. So that's why. Okay. Otherwise, you can if you are feeling more problematic, then you can join in the 7:30 one. Same thing will be repeated in Hindi. Okay. Sorry. So what I'm trying to prove here in the Pratyaksh Praman is that by direct perception, by eyes, by our ears, nose, and the skin, different knowledge acquiring senses, we cannot gather, we cannot acquire complete knowledge. And for that, I'm giving you some example. I'll give you some example how through our senses we are not able to get the proper knowledge. How seeing is not believing. Everything we which see, I will prove two things. Whatever we see is not true every time, and whatever we do not see, that is not false every time. So let's go with the first example. So first things are there that we cannot acquire proper knowledge using our senses. That is because this blunt material senses has some defects, and there are four defects which I'm going to tell you that you might be knowing about yourself or not. I don't know, but these are the four fundamental defects which everybody of us, all of us, all of us possess because of this senses, whatever. Because this body is there, unless this body, until and unless this body will be there, these four defects will be there with us. What are those four defects? Let's see. The first defect is imperfect senses. Our senses are not perfect. Our senses are imperfect. The second is to be illusion. We always tend to be illusion in different situations. And I'll give you the example for that also. Third thing is tendency to commit mistakes. All of you will agree with this point that we commit mistakes many times. It's a tendency. And fourth is cheating propensity. These four are common defects for all of us, and because of that, our senses cannot acquire proper knowledge and what to speak of to understand the God using these. That's why if somebody says that I don't believe in God because I haven't seen him, I haven't experienced him, then first of all, we have to understand that these four things are there in your life. Because of that, you cannot perceive the God. What are the four things? Now we are going in detail. Imperfect senses. So let's talk about these two things, eyes and ears. You know that our eyes are blind outside the range of 400 to 700 millimicron. You know this thing. We only see the visible rays. We can only see that. Beyond that, like out of this visible rays range, you cannot see anything. That's why we cannot see X-rays, we cannot see gamma rays, radio waves, microwaves. So many different electromagnetic waves are there, but we can't see them. So this is because our eyes are blind. So can we say that electromagnetic waves do not exist? No, there are some proofs where we can prove that electromagnetic waves are certainly existing and they have their effects. The second thing, our ears are deaf outside the range of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. There are many animals, many living entities who are having the range who make voice which is less than 20 hertz range, and that's why we cannot hear them. And sometimes they make voice, they make sound noise which is beyond 20 kilohertz, and that also we cannot hear. So we can say that our eyes, our ears are also limited. We cannot see everything, we cannot hear everything, right? And sometimes this is like the eyes are blind. So as I given the example for the imperfect senses for the eyes, so people even cannot see around 10-meter or 5-meter distance from here. They cannot see also properly. There are many defects also in the eyes, myopia, hypermetropia, so different diseases are also there. So these senses are actually blunt, they are diseased, they are conditioned. The second effect, to be elusive, and it's very interesting one. Out of all four defects, this is very interesting one, to be elusive. You check this example, whatever it's written here. Suppose you taste orange after sugar, how your tongue gets illusion. Suppose you taste orange after sugar, then the orange will taste like the orange taste would be sour taste. And if you taste lemon, if you taste orange after eating lemon, after tasting lemon, then the same orange will taste sweet. All of you agree with this? If not, then you can try. That depends upon you. You can write it down and you can try how your tongue gets illusion sometimes. Now, second thing about skin. Same water is there, but if the same water is touched with warm hand, then that appears cool. But if the same water is touched with cold hands, so that appears warm. If this also you do not agree, you can note it down and you can try at home. These are the different ways how our different senses get illusion. So suppose I am saying, oh, this is hot water, and you will say cold water. This is because I am saying hot water because my hand was already cold, and you are saying cold water because your hand was already warm. And because of that, we are having different feelings. Or suppose same water is there, you have two hands and you can put it. So one hand is sensing different, another hand sensing different. So our senses are getting disturbed, illusion. So how can you get perfect knowledge here? About water's temperature also we are not able to properly get the knowledge. Okay, now there is some observation for you. You can see some pictures are there, and then these pictures are about like it's a kind of picture perception test. What perception you are having and what you can see. Like the kind of perception you have, same thing you can see. Otherwise, there are different pictures also. In one picture, there are two, three things, but still you can find whatever your perception would be there. So according to your creativity, try to find all different types of pictures present in one picture. So let's see the first one, figure 1. You might be observing there is a white triangle. There are 3 circles, black circle, and all of you, I'm sure you would be watching, you would be able to see a white triangle. Are you able to see that? A white triangle. But in fact, all of you will agree with me about this point that actually there is no triangle at all. These 3 circles, which are not actually circles, little bit they are clubbed off. So they are kept in such a way that it is projecting a white triangle to us. It's quite interesting. The thing which is not existing, it is forcing our eyes, our brain to accept that it is existing. That is the problem. Even if it is not existing, still it is forcing us. You can see the figure number 3. There is how many? There are different things. If you can properly see, so there is one old man and old woman. If you want to see, then there are other things also, like these are the two people sitting, and there is a bottle also, and there is one more person here, and you can find out this golden as a golden cup or golden flask. So in one picture there are so many different pictures are inserted, but according to your perception you will see which picture first, which picture you are seeing first. So that is your ability. Then some of the people, they cannot able to see everything, but maybe you would be lucky and you can figure out all the pictures inside this. Maybe some of the people, they are not able to find out this one, this this person, but then hopefully, fortunately, maybe you can find out that thing also. Now figure number 2, if you see, so there is one very young girl and there is one old lady. Both the pictures are there in one, but then that we have to understand how it is old lady and how it is a young girl. And I'm sure those who are able to see the young girl, they are not able to see the old lady, and those who are able to see the old lady, they are not able to see the young girl. The suspense may remain the same, but this is the thing. How many of you think that it's a old lady? You can put in the chat box. How many of you think old lady? How many of you think young girl? I'm sure there will be two contrast. There will be two contrast of opinion, because what you are seeing, the next one, the next atom or the next picture, it is very difficult to see. So that is what the perception. This is what like kind of a perception you are getting. What perception, which kind of observation you are able to take. Going to the next one. Okay, it's quite interesting. Again, I don't have any video, it's simple a picture, but all of you would be, I'm sure you would be seeing that something is just moving, the bubbles are moving. Again, this is an illusion to your eyes. I'm giving so many examples for the illusion, because this is very interesting defect, as I said, and this is very common defect. Because of this, sometimes we see something and then still that doesn't exist at all, like this. You can see now. Okay, focus on the dot. Those who are watching it, focus on the dot and move your head backwards and forwards. Just focus on the dot and move your head forward and backward. What you will feel? You will feel like the both circles are moving on the opposite direction. Still, it's a picture. You can try at your home also. You can take a printout and you can you can paste in the wall, and then you can try the same thing. So it's not like the picture has something specialty. This your eyes are having some specialty and your brain is having some specialty. Actually, it is making some. It is not able to differentiate, and it is getting puzzled. That's why it is. We are saying that illusion. This is the same thing again. Every flower is placed on its place very properly, but then still you are thinking that the flowers are moving. Your eyes are rotating in different ways. These are the illusion. Well, there can be a number of example of how illusion happens. So I can't say like much thing. The third thing is tendency to commit mistakes. So there is no doubt about this defect that every time we commit some mistakes, even if we know in the school exam, in the college exam, we know some formulas, but still we commit mistakes. That is called silly mistakes. Every time, most of you, I'm sure all of you would have got sometime this remark from your teacher that you have done just a silly mistake. This was positive, you just kept a negative point, and then our some marks were deducted, and we feel so painful. Like I was about to get 100 out of 100 in the maths, Or suppose I was about to get 7 out of 7 in this question. And then with my just a silly mistake, a small mistake, I did this. Tendency to commit mistake every time in every situation. Somehow it happens. Sometimes we knowingly we commit, sometimes unknowingly. And most of the time unknowingly it happens. Last one is cheating propensity. Again, this is undeniable fact that everybody has having that cheating propensity. Like sometimes the friend calls, "Oh, where are you, my friend?" So suppose like somebody is calling, "Hey, hi, where are you?" So other will say that I'm just reaching to your house. It will just take just a 5 minutes. So he'll say that okay, come out. I'm also ready here. I'm waiting for you. And in reality, the person who has called, he has just got up from his bed and he might be calling, I'm just ready. And the second one, the one who is saying that I'm coming in 5 minutes, I'm coming in 5 minutes. So he is also just getting ready at his home. He has not yet come out. So both side, everywhere, the cheating propensity, we can see there are so many examples of cheating going on in the. This is a simple cheating. I'm saying just 5 minute, 10 minute, what we say on the phone. Another cheating thing like so many bluffs things were going on in the case of business in like gambling and all, so many things. But here one example we are showing, this example is of pill down man fraud. This is a cheating propensity cheating example from the science research field background. That is, the scientist or those who are evolutionists, scientists, those who believe on the evolution theory, so they say that man has come from monkeys. A man has evolved from monkeys. So man has a particular skull, particular this shape of skull, and that has human skull and human kind of jaw. And the monkey has a different face cut. You can see here there is a human kind of thing, and there is a monkey. So if suppose there is a if the monkeys are transformed into human being, so there must be certainly there must be in between something like connecting link. Connecting link means the man and monkey. So something mixture. So like human skull and monkey jaw, or human jaw and monkey skull, like that, something in between. So people were asking that if your theory is correct, then you should give us some evidence. Should be some connecting link. In 1912, the connecting link was made up. Actually, it was made up. It was not originally, it was not actually present. And then, but in 1953, the fraud was revealed that the jaw was actually filed. Filing, filing. So in science, there is two words, filing and waxing. So the jaw was filed in order to make it look like a monkey jaw, a monkey's jaw. But it was actually a human jaw only that was filed. So in that way, we can see that everywhere cheating is going on, everywhere. And because of all these four defects, imperfect senses, to be illusion, tendency to commit mistakes, and cheating propensity, we always tend to commit some mistakes and we are not able to perceive the proper knowledge, proper information. Now, I'll give you some more example in Pratyaksh Praman only. That when you stand in a railway station, then you see the two tracks, they are going farther and they are joining. They are joining. But then, do you think that actually they are joining somewhere? No, these two tracks are always parallel. But for us, it looks like they are joining somewhere. A very famous example of something which we see that doesn't exist is mirage. During the hot summer season, when we see on the road, and we find that there is some water on the road. When we go nearby, then we see there is no water. It's just a reflection of the sun. And the same thing is called mirage in the different deserts. We find we are looking after water, and then such mirage comes into the picture. So these are the actual things which we see but we don't believe, or that doesn't exist. But there are many things which we don't see, but still they are existing. Like we discussed, electromagnetic waves. We also discussed about the air. These all things are there, but they cannot be seen. They cannot be perceived with our direct senses. So we are going to the next process, next ways of knowledge, that is Anuman Praman. Theories based on observation. We observe sometime. It may have happened like this, perhaps like this. Like suppose somebody is dead and then police comes. Then police try to figure out. She might have fallen from sixth floor, fifth floor, so like that, maybe like this, and they try to find out the case. So in the most of the CIDs or some kind of detective episodes, you might be thinking that the people are just finding in that way. Maybe like this thing would be happen like that. So they are guessing, they are observing something. But then, can you say that Anuman or the observation can always be true? Once upon a time, one person was going in front of a house, and from the house there were different sounds were coming, as if inside the fighting is going on. Inside the fighting is going on. Then immediately one girl shouted. So this person got puzzled. What is happening inside the house? Is some kind of crime is happening, or somebody is watching movie which is on the high sound? Whatever it may be, but he felt little suspicious. He went inside. It was not like some movie things was going on, but some different sounds were also coming. So he got suspicious. He went to the house. He knocked the door, and then there one person opened the door. Yes, please. What do you want? The person said, I heard the voice of a girl. She was shouting, and then some other people were also screaming. What's going on here? The person said, yeah, we are shooting for a drama. We're just first rehearse, we are doing some practice, and then we are doing some shooting. So this thing is going on inside the house. Oh, so then he understood. But from outside, it's very difficult to guess what is happening inside the house. So if we observe and make some theory, definitely most of the time it is going to be wrong. There is one more example for this. One scientist, I'm saying scientist, but actually he was not, just a kind of joke. It was a joke. So take it as a joke. Don't take it personally if somebody's scientist or somebody's a research field person. There was a scientist, jokingly, and then he was trying to figure out the hearing capacity of a cockroach. Cockroach which has 6 or 8 legs, I guess. So he was trying to analyze on the hearing capacity of cockroach. So first of all, what he did, he said to cockroach, okay, run, run. The cockroach started running. He touched the cockroach. The cockroach started moving. Then what he did, he just cut the 2 legs of cockroach. Now placing it as 4, he said, run, run. And then he gave a push. The cockroach started to crawl a little bit because 2 legs are not there, but still able to walk properly. Then this person again cut 2 more legs, and the cockroach was left with only 2 legs. Again, this so-called scientist, he said, run, run, and gave a push. The cockroach started crawling. And then at the end, the scientist cut the final 2 legs off, leaving the cockroach without any legs. And then the scientist gave a push and said, run, 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 run. And what do you think? The cockroach could not. The cockroach was just lying on the same place. So this person, so-called scientist, made a theory. He made a theory that the more legs you cut of the cockroach, it's not able to hear properly. And if you cut all the legs of a cockroach, then the cockroach becomes deaf. That's why the cockroach is not moving now. I'm saying run, run. Earlier it was moving. Now because I have cut all the legs, So I'm saying run, run. Now he's not moving. That means he has become deaf now. So if you cut the legs of cockroach, the cockroach becomes deaf. This is the final theory came. So funny now. If we make, I just gave a joke. I just made a joke. If you make theory based on observation, then certainly such thing will happen. And people have made, I have cracked a joke, but people have actually made a joke of science by giving some examples. Examples of Darwin's theory that how a bear became a whale, and the Lambach's theory and different others theory. There was a small creature who was eating the grass, and when the grass was finished on the ground, then it started taking leaves of the different trees, and slowly he ate all the leaves of the trees. Then he started stretching his neck, and slowly he became giraffe. This is bigger joke. What I said was a smaller joke, but what I am saying now is a bigger joke because it has been taught in the schools also. Do you taught some jokes in the school? Can it? Is it possible? Now here some examples are there. If you talk about the record of the rocks, so 40,000 years ago, man was present, monkeys were there. 4 lakh, 1 million, 1.5, 2 million years ago, if you take out the age of the rock strata in the years, then you will find out the monkeys were also present. The human being was also present. How can we say that human being was evolved from the monkeys? So there are some problems with making mistakes in the research. A Bisleri bottle is offered as a convenient substitute for a fragile bottle. But water stored in a Bisleri bottle for 6 months becomes more poisonous and can cause death to one who drinks it. There was a girl who was using, 14-year-old girl, she was using one of the plastic bottles. She was very fond of that. And she used that bottle for 1.5 years. And suddenly one day she died. The doctor said that because of the polyvinyl, like some plastic material was there. And because of that, that became mixed with the water. And the girl was consuming it from long time. And because of that, it acted like a slow poison, and then she died. Second is like the mobiles and all. Mobiles are useful for us in all aspects, but still the radiations are so hazardous for us. It can cause damage to wherever you keep. So these are the mistakes in the research, because we have invented mobile for our convenience, but then whatever we invent, there is some heads, so there must be some tails also. There is some positive thing, so there is negative thing also. This is the world of duality. That's why here in this world you cannot be happy, because if you try to generate something for happiness, so the pain is just behind that. If you try for the happy thing, if you try for happy thing, the pain is just behind this. Third thing is, one time bubonic plague in 13 something that years, so it was very very severe, and researchers claimed that the cats were the cause of plague. So they killed all the cats, and then they realized that the cats are not the real cause, but the rats, the mouse, they are the real cause. But then it was too late. Now there were plenty of rats and no cats to eat them. And because of that, that bubonic plague that spread violently, and more than 5 crore people, a big number of population that got wiped out. So that's why it is said half knowledge is always dangerous. Half knowledge is always dangerous. So actually man thought he can be happy without God. Why we are teaching all this thing? The first topic, mystery of God, so that people can actually understand, those who believe in God and those who don't believe in God. Those who believe in God, actually they also should understand that why they should believe, because someone is there who is watching us. And those who don't believe in God, they will also ponder upon this thing, that how there is someone's existence is there. So man thought he can be happy without God. if only he has money and comforts. But no, not possible. There must be some manual of life by which he can be properly situated in happiness. Like anything, if we purchase, so we get a manual. If we use the manual, we can use that material, we can use that instrument properly. If we don't have manual, or if we have the manual, we don't read it, then sometimes we create something else. So just see this video and how the things is happening. This is a running machine. I think it's not working. Yeah, so it's not working. Anyway, so this was the thing that if we there was a video, a cartoon video where the person is not able to use the instrument using the manual, and because of that he is getting problem more and more. So that is the situation for us. If we don't know how to use, maybe the instrument will backfire to us only. Oh, who knows? So these are the four defects that make our research also faulty. We have imperfect senses, illusion, commit mistakes, cheating propensity. So with faulty research and with faulty senses, how can we expect that we can have the proper knowledge, we can have perfect knowledge, and we can have proper happiness, we can gain it? So sad. So we have to look for the third alternative, that is the Shabda Praman. So these two are discussing that what is the next option now? What can be done if everything, Pratyaksha and Anuman, are not the ways to gain knowledge? What is that? So Shabda Praman, that hearing from a bona fide authority. What you do in the school and colleges, you hear from your teacher and then you understand the subject. That is the Shabda Praman, hearing from a bona fide authority. The teacher in the school who is teaching, he is the bona fide authority because he has studied properly and now he is an authorized teacher. That's why we hear from him and we do not doubt. Why did you say like this? Why did you say 2 plus 2 4? We never challenge. If somebody is teaching us 2 plus 2 equal to 4, then we never say, why not 2 plus 2 equal to 3? We believe perfectly. But here in the spiritual one, there we doubt. Why God? Why not dot? Because in Big Bang we believe on dot. Here we are talking about God, but the scientists doesn't believe in Big Bang theory. They believe in dot. A dot which is infinitesimally small and infinitely it is having mass. So such kind of dot. Mathematically unverifiable, physically undescribable. What kind of dot is that? So it's better to understand, better to accept the theory of God than the theory of dot. So here we are talking about hearing from a bona fide source, like from the Lord Krishna, the knowledge has come to Brahma, Narada. So in this way, what is the meaning of bona fide authority? That is the one who repeats the same thing which he has heard from his superior. So like there is a postman. It's a simple example of a postman. You write a letter to someone, to your friend. Postman takes the letter and as it is, it drops to your friend. It's not like in between he opens the letter and he checks and he says that, oh, there is some grammatical mistake. Let me correct it. Let me correct these things. And then he corrected and then he pasted again and then he gives to your friend. Do you think it happens like this? What is the postman's job? Taking the letter, delivering it to another person. The same job is done if the same thing is continued in the bona fide authority, bona fide system of passing the knowledge. So one person gives the knowledge to other, the other will, as it is, pass the same knowledge to his disciples, then his disciples, then his disciples, his students. First of all, the knowledge comes from Lord Krishna, and then it goes on in that way. So accordingly, there are four different sampradayas also: Sri, Brahma, Kumar, and Um, Sri Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya, and Rudra Sampradaya. There are four Sampradayas accordingly that. Now I'm taking simple example. How can a child know that who is his father? Who is his father? There are two ways. One is inductive way, one is deductive way. This in English we talk about the technical word. Inductive means from lower to top, from me to God, and deductive knowledge is from God to me, like from higher to lower. So there is two process. Inductive knowledge. Let me find out for this boy, for this small kid, who is his father. What will I do? We'll check the genes of the boy, and then we'll check the genes of all the male person present in the whole world, and then we'll tell. It will take around 800 years. We are dead, the boy is dead, the boy's father is dead. What to do with that? What will you do with that theory? By genetic fingerprint, and then two, you will find out, identify a lot of 200 men, one of whom is likely to be his father, one of whom is likely to be. I'm not sure yet. So this is the situation in the inductive knowledge. The best process is what? Why I'm making so much mess out of here? Just ask the mother. Ask the mother of that boy and find who the father is. Now you may question, where is the mother? If the mother is not there, then what will happen? So if the mother is not there, so then it is difficult. Then you can't find out. So the best is the Shabda Pramad is like for the small kid, the highest authority can tell who his father is. So that is the mother. That is deductive knowledge. That is Shabda Pramad, authoritative source. Similarly, to know about God, who is our supreme, who is the supreme father, the Vedas, the scriptures are compared as the mother. As the mother is taking us towards the father, mother makes us realize that who our father is. Similarly, the scriptures tell us who our father is. That is the supreme Lord. And the scriptures give us proper definition, proper information about the God. They guide us properly. And this Vedic process of learning is simple. The professors who has heard from his guru or acharya, so they are like professors. Authorized college means proper sampradaya, proper parampara, guru shishya parampara, where the knowledge has been not lost. Not lost. I'm not saying in between if you concord something, then it is a problematic. If the knowledge is as it is, pure knowledge has been transferred without adulteration, without any concoction, that knowledge has to be accepted at the end. And authorized books like Vedic texts like Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita was first spoken by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. And if the same message, if we are receiving now, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita as it is the same information, same knowledge which Lord Krishna has given to Arjuna. How can you find out the same thing? It is the same knowledge because the effect which happened in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the same effect is still been found out now in the lives of hippies during 1966 time when the America was fully covered or fully disturbed with this hippie culture where people were just going out, eat, sleep, and be merry, just drink and then go in trance, take drugs, and remain high, stay high forever. So at that time, Srila Prabhupada went with his Krishna conscious movement preaching, and then he transformed all these people, these hippies, into happies. They not only left the drugs, the drinks, but even they accepted the Sanatan Dharma very properly. And they are still following the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. This is called transformation. The transformation which happened at the battlefield of Kurukshetra, same thing is happening now. That's why the message is same. Srimad Bhagavatam says, first, 111, first canto, first chapter, first verse, that the Vedic knowledge was revealed by the Supreme Person. By the Supreme Person, is in the heart of the first created being, that is Brahma. And from Brahma came to different living entities, Brahma to Narad, Narad to Vyasdev, Vyasdev to, like, similarly different people. So this Vedic wisdom came down in a disciplic succession through a chain of gurus. We are not talking about any kind of bogus gurus who are giving information, who are giving knowledge that just enjoy, and give some donation to us. We are not asking like that. We're not asking for your donations and just we are letting you to enjoy. But ISKCON has four fundamental principles which everybody has to follow, whosoever comes in ISKCON. No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. These are the four fundamental. This principle you have to follow. So purity has to be maintained. And these gurus who have come down to this, they are not like adultering something. They were passing, they were just taking the pure message and giving the pure message. No adulteration. So all the Vedas are timeless wisdom that was spoken and heard in Parampara. Vyasdev, a literary incarnation of God, recorded all the Vedas in writings 5,000 years back for the benefit of people in the Kali Yuga. Because in Kali Yuga, people were having short memory, they cannot remember everything. You would be surprised to know that in Satyuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, that time, the students used to hear and just memorize. There were no books, no copies, no pens at all. They never wrote anything. They used to just hear and memorize. They were not having big bags. School chale hum. No. They used to stay in the Gurukul. They used to hear the mantras and then they used to memorize. Shruti Dhar. But now in Kali Yuga, we are not Shruti Dhar. We are books and copy there. Bag there. So we have to keep the bags. We have to keep books, copies, everything. Notes. Now everything is in a mobile. In mobile PDFs are there. But then at those times, they were not need of all this thing. But Vyasdeva wrote this thing for the benefit of people in the Kali Yuga. This is the description of how the Vedic knowledge, two parts are there, Shruti, Smriti. Shruti are parts of like mostly Vedas, Upanishads and all. And Smriti mostly like Puranas, Pancharatrikas, Shad Darshan. So these all things are there. Now comes about that interesting story which I told in the beginning about the 6 blind men going to an elephant to find how elephant looks like. So what twist happened? Because all 6 were struggling to get which information is correct. Then one person, the wise man came, who was having proper vision and who has seen the elephant, and then he described the elephant. He also described what mistakes you did. He also described the perception which people were taking out, and then these all people could able to understand what were their mistakes. So similarly, we also need a person who has proper vision of his spirit, not only material vision, spiritual vision. And that spiritual vision, if from that person, if we get the information, the Shabda, hearing from the bona fide source, then only we can know about, we can perceive about the God. And what is that Shabda Praman is? The scriptures, the Vedas. And from there only we can get the proper knowledge about the God. So nowhere, never through your pratyaksha, your direct perception, the Anuman, guessing work, these things are every time will fall short to know about God. There is only one way, that is to hear from proper authority, to take the message from scriptures, to hear from the devotees. This is what the only solution. So this comes the end of this session. So this is like all the summary what we have discussed till now. And if you have any question, now we can take some questions. That will be good if you want to ask any question from this topic or yesterday's topic. So well, those who are on Zoom, so they can ask. Those who are watching on YouTube live, so for them it will be difficult. So at the end, you can, after the video is posted, then you can comment also, so that your questions can be answered there. Any question right now? So although we are not getting any question, but now since we have turned up with the two sessions, first session was mystery of God, second session was access the truth, how to access, what is the way. And the way which we have just now found out is the Shabda Praman, hearing from the scriptures, hearing from the proper sources. We will move on to the lesson number 2, that is mantra 2. What is the mantra today we found out? The first mantra we found out yesterday, that was everything which is created has a purpose. And to know the purpose, we need to understand the creator. That is the first mantra. The second mantra today we found out is that if we want to know the God, then you have to find out the best method of learning, best method of gaining the knowledge. And the best method of gaining the knowledge is hearing from the proper authority, hearing from the proper source. So this is the mantra number 2. If you want to be successful in your life, then in your life, every time you have to depend upon someone who is very experienced, who has seen what you want. Like suppose you are trying for some goal, and if somebody has achieved that target, achieved that goal, then only it's possible that if you hear from that person, so that if you take his experience, hearing from an experienced person, if you take his experience, that is the best way of learning. And we all learn through this way only. Either you go to coaching institute or schools or colleges, everywhere the teachers who are there, they have already excelled in the topic. They are experienced faculties, and now they are giving their experience to us. Because everybody knows Shabda Praman is the best one. But still, when it comes to know about God, when it comes to talk about spirituality, people say, can you show me God? It is not possible just by seeing the eyes. So because Pratyaksha is not the proper way. So since we haven't received any question, we stop here. Still, I can wait for a minute if you have any question. Okay, so since we are not getting any question here, so we stop here the session. We'll wait for you in the next week on 3rd July for the third session, that is Discover Yourself. As like the mantra third, we'll go to that one. That first we discovered about God, we discovered about the way how to reach God, and third one now we are going to get that discover about us, because whose life it is. It's my life. Mantra of life, I'm trying to search about the mantra for my life. So first I have to know myself also. And then the fourth one, we are going to conclude. The conclusion will come from the mantra of life. So hope you all will join in the next week, 3rd July. We'll send you the proper link and message, everything, so that you will get received before. So after this session just gets over, so in the description box, you will be getting the link of quiz. So the quiz also you can get in the description box. There is a form which you can fill. The feedback form is there. So that feedback form you can fill out. You can ask some questions there also, so that we can answer you personally. So thank you very much. We end the session here. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada